So, my name is Dr. Basra, and I am the CEO and Medical Director of Diverse Diagnostics. I want to talk about today uncommon symptoms of ADHD. We often hear and talk about really common things about ADHD that people are really well educated and know about. Things like lack of focus or task paralysis. But what are some signs and symptoms of ADHD that you might not be necessarily aware of? Well, I'm going to give you three, and it's just to have a think about, is this something that you have reflected upon yourself? One being mood drops after great successes. So many people with ADHD, they find that they're really excited when they have achieved success, but it's very short-lived, and that is because there's a dopamine crash. So the second thing that we often don't talk about is losing interest in an activity or a hobby that you're really passionate about. There's lots of times I've heard people talk about when they're doing a hobby, they're so invested in it, they spend all their time thinking about it, planning it, and they do actually start the hobby, but that interest doesn't last very long at all. And they really struggle to reconnect with that activity, even though it is meaningful. And then they feel a lot of guilt and self-loathing about it and annoyed with themselves. A third symptom and sign that people don't often talk about is burnout after micro tasks. So even a phone call or an email leads people to feeling burnt out. Now, people with ADHD, they do really struggle from one task to the next. And this is, again, can be found with people with ADHD. Now, one thing to keep in mind is not everyone will have every symptom of ADHD. And ADHD can be a very varied spectrum. So one person's ADHD won't necessarily look like another person's ADHD. And it's really important that you don't compare yourself to someone else and say, well, just because I don't have that symptom, it must mean that I actually don't have ADHD. So if you are thinking ADHD is something that you might be struggling with and you're really not sure about the things that you're suffering with, don't hesitate to book for a free 15-minute consultation to speak to one of our clinicians. Remember, it's private and confidential, and the clinician will give you guidance on whether the private assessment pathway is appropriate for you.